we go. Now you're all warmed up. It's time for our first contestant. We have Tomasz Dobrzycki. He's a DPhil student at the Woollard Institute of Molecular Medicine. His interests are molecular and cell processes of embryonic development. He also likes karaoke singing, and his favourite song is The Calling's Wherever You Will Go. But tonight, he's not quite singing, but rapping about blood, and not where it will go, but where it will come from. So, are you all ready, blood? That's my cool street thing. That I don't know why I even tried. So please welcome to the stage, Tomasz!
Blood. You don't need to watch horror movies to know what it looks like. In fact, if you're a little clumsy, like me, you probably see it a little too often. Like last week, I was chopping carrots and I started bleeding. But I was fine. Well, I'm fine. And tonight, I want to tell you about it. Yo, remember when you cut yourself or fell on your chin? You would have seen blood flowing through your skin, and probably that made you feel sad to lose something as important as blood. But why is blood important? It does quite a bit. It distributes the nutrients after you eat. It collects the waste to be removed with piss and keeps the body balanced or in homeostasis. But wait. Blood's not only a transporter. In fact, it contains more than salt and water. There are also cells of three main types: erythrocytes, leukocytes, and thrombocytes. No need for size. Their names may not be nice, but we also call them differently. Let's start with leukocytes, or white blood cells. They're like the police that protect our body from disease, so the medics in their community call them the cells that provide immunity. Now on to thrombocytes, or platelets for short. When you get a wound, they form the clot. Erythrocytes are red blood cells, or RBC. They transport oxygen to be used for energy production from lungs to everywhere and collect the CO2 to exhale with the air. Now, would you be amazed if I told you that all these cells come from the same place? Because there is one cell that does the job quite well. Its name, hard to spell, Hematopoietic stem cell. It's really powerful. We have quite a few of them, and each one can make a whole new blood system. And so these blood stem cells are worth more than gold. And they first come up in an embryo that is 6 weeks old in its main blood vessel, the dorsal aorta. Its story is quite long, but I'll try to make it shorter. The walls of this aorta are made of cells that are flat, but some receive a signal and become a little fat. They go into bloodstream, undergoing transformation to acquire long-term blood-making potential. They first go to liver to divide like mad, and when increased in numbers, they go back to blood. And from there, they go fast as an arrow to their final place, called the bone marrow. And until the end of life, this is where they stay, to make 1 trillion new blood cells every day. And this process, on which I'm writing my thesis, we call so beautifully hematopoiesis. I know that was a lot, and maybe by September you forget all of it. I just want you to remember, next time you bleed, there's no need to cry. Because of these blood stem cells, you're gonna be okay.
That's Tomasz, everybody! So now, congratulations, first one's over. So now we're going to go to the judges. Judges, let's start with Alison. Do you have a question?
So, Thomas, I've seen 2 of your raps now. I don't know if this is, yeah, it is working. I've seen 2 of your raps now, both amazing. Both times you've been wearing a hat. Now, and I know Ennie's only 2, but what happens when you try to rap without the hat?
To answer this question, I probably need some time, but without a hat, I probably won't rhyme. Oh.
Hi, Thomas. Very nice. So tell me, is it possible for somebody to have a total blood transfusion? The urban mythology is that Keith Richard did this one time to clean himself up.
That's a really good question. I I'd love to reply. I really can't find a rhyme, no matter how hard I try. In fact, you can save a life if you sign up as a bone marrow donor. And there's no need for a knife. But whole blood transfusion, that may be complicated because you need a few volunteers to be donated. I'm not an expert in this field. I'll have to go and read, but next time we can talk about it when we meet.
So you're writing your thesis in a minute. I'd be interested, like, how does this fit in with your actual research? What is it that you actually research?
My research, in the lab where I am, is actually how the blood stem cells come. I can rhyme. I'm
Doesn't
looking.
have to rhyme.
I'm actually looking at some molecular actors, and there are two main groups. The first, transcription factors, which bind to DNA, the source of information to drive the program of blood cell differentiation. So they are quite powerful, and but another type is a signal molecule, and these signals are made by some cells, others receive them, and it's like they were talking. It's hard to believe them, but this is the main topic of my thesis. So it is developmental hematopoiesis.
Wonderful. So, yeah, thanks everyone. Let's give a big round of applause to Tomasz Dobrzycki.